All right, welcome everyone. Today we're going to tackle a really critical skill for any nonprofit leader, and that's making sure the mission of your organization can outlast any single person. We're talking about succession planning, and I promise by the end of this, you'll have the tools you need to protect your organization's future.
So let's just paint a picture here, one that probably keeps a lot of us up at night. A key leader, maybe it's the founder, maybe it's that amazing program director, suddenly leaves. What happens? Total chaos. And look, this isn't just some hypothetical. For a lot of organizations, this is a very real, very damaging crisis that can put everything you've worked for on the line.
Okay, so here's our roadmap for today. We're going to start by really digging into what that departure crisis looks like. Then we'll talk about what succession planning really is. After that, we'll get practical with a 3-step guide, chat about building up your team's strength, and then cover some common mistakes to avoid. And finally, we'll wrap it all up by talking about how to make a lasting impact. So when that key person walks out the door, what exactly goes with them? It is so much more than just their job title. They take with them years of knowledge, critical relationships, and honestly, a big chunk of the team's morale. The stakes here are incredibly high. And the fallout? Man, it can be absolutely devastating. All that institutional knowledge just vanishes overnight. Those donor relationships you spent years building, they can just shatter, and staff morale can totally tank. This isn't just some minor inconvenience, you guys. It's a massive shock to the system that can put your entire mission at risk.
So it's time we really reframe how we think about this whole thing. Succession planning is not some morbid, depressing conversation about someone leaving. No way! It's a smart, proactive strategy for making sure your organization stays strong and keeps going no matter what.
And this slide right here, this is so important because it gets right to the heart of what succession planning is and what it absolutely is not. It's not about pushing leaders out. It's not about promising someone a promotion, and it is definitely not just for the executive director. It's about identifying those critical roles, building up your entire team, and creating a living, breathing document that grows and changes right along with you. Okay, so theory is great, but how do we actually do this, right? Let's get really practical and break it all down into a super simple 3-step guide you can start using right away.
Step 1 is all about focus. Look, you can't create a detailed plan for every single person in your organization. You'd go crazy. The real question you gotta ask yourself is this. If this person left tomorrow, would we be in a full-blown crisis? You wanna focus your energy on the 5 to 7 roles where the answer is a big, loud yes. We're talking your ED, your board chair, and those key program leaders who are the glue holding everything together.
Okay, once you know who those critical people are, it's time for step 2, building out the actual plan for each of them. And this template, this is your best friend. It helps you get everything down on paper, their main responsibilities, the risk of them leaving, and all that critical knowledge and those relationships they have. Then you can start thinking about who could step in and, most importantly, create a real plan to help them get ready.
And you know what? You can knock out the bulk of this work in a single afternoon. Seriously, just get your key leaders in a room for a 3-4-hour workshop. Use the first hour to nail down those critical roles, spend the second hour brainstorming who could possibly fill them, and then use the last couple of hours to really flesh out the development plans for your top 3 most critical positions. Done.
Okay, so a plan on paper is one thing, but it's totally useless without amazing people who are ready to step up, right? This next part is all about building up your team, what we call your bench strength. It's about creating a pipeline of leadership right inside your own organization.
So how do you do it? Well, it really boils down to 3 key things. First, you've got to intentionally develop your own people through things like mentoring or giving them new challenges. Second, you build an external pipeline. You get to know great people out in the world before you actually need to hire them. And third, you get obsessive about knowledge transfer. You write things down, create manuals, so that crucial info never just walks out the door.
And just look at this case study. This is where the rubber meets the road. It shows you exactly what this looks like in action and why it's so worth it. So in year 1, this nonprofit made a plan and started developing someone internally. By year 2, that person was ready to go. So when the ED retired in year 3, the transition was totally seamless. They protected their mission, had almost no disruption, and they got to reward a talented person from within their own team. That is the win right there.
All right, we've talked about the right way to do things, but it's just as important to talk about the wrong way. So let's cover some of the really common mistakes, these little anti-patterns that can trip people up and make all this hard work for nothing.
So let me ask you a question, and be honest, is your succession plan, if you even have one, is it just collecting dust in a filing cabinet somewhere, or sitting in a folder on a server that no one's looked at in a year? because that gets right to the heart of the single biggest mistake people make. And that leads us right to what I call anti-pattern number 1, the static document. Your plan becomes totally useless the second you file it away. I mean, think about it. Your organization changes, people grow, things happen. A plan from last year could be completely obsolete. This has to be a living document that you pull out and update every single year, right alongside your big strategic plan. And here are a few other big traps you really want to avoid. First, don't just focus on the executive director. Losing a great finance director can be just as much of a crisis. Second, don't just name a successor and call it a day. You have to actually invest in their growth. And finally, be open about this. Frame it as a good thing, an investment in the team, so your current leaders feel valued, not like you're trying to push them out the door.
Okay, so let's bring it all home. After everything we've talked about, what are the absolute key things you need to remember to build a truly resilient organization, one that can handle any transition that comes its way?
It really comes down to these 5 core principles. Think of this as your cheat sheet. Number 1, planning is protection. Plain and simple. 2, focus only on those truly critical roles. 3, document everything that matters. 4, actively, intentionally build your bench. And 5, maybe the most important, this is a cycle, not a one-time task. You've got to review it every single year. You know, if you take one thing away today, maybe it's this. Stop calling it a succession plan. That sounds kind of scary and formal. Start thinking of it as leadership insurance. It's just a proactive strategy to make sure your mission and your organization can thrive long after any one of us is gone. And that brings me to the last thing I want to leave you with today. This quote really says it all. This process isn't some negative thing where you're planning for people to leave. No, it's a profoundly positive, optimistic act. You are planning for your organization to thrive. It's how you build something that truly, truly lasts.